The views expressed on this episode of the Came to Believe Recovery podcast do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT, Take 12 Recovery Radio, or our affiliates. The opinions on this episode should not be taken as medical, psychological, or professional advice and are those of the host, co-host, and guests. KHLT and Take 12 Recovery Radio are not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship. Well, greetings, my friends. I am the Monty Man from Take 12 Recovery Radio, and this is the Came to Believe Recovery Podcast. And now, here are your Came to Believe Recovery podcasting broadcasters to launch us forth on this week's show.
Well, hello and welcome everyone to the Came to Believe Recovery podcast. My name is Alicia and I am here with Tom and Monty. Hello, you guys.
All right.
Monty and his toys.
So everybody already, you need to understand, Monty's had an evil laugh before we even came on. So there's something coming and we apologize. Oh no, new sound effects.
Oh my God! The goat. We haven't done the goat in a while.
I know there's like a reason not to do the goat.
Screaming goat. It's not a gnome.
And we just spent 3 days with him. 4, I think.
4-ish.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I'm a little sleep drunk. You know what I mean? I'm all tired, just a little giddy. I just really know.
Because he drove for hours and hours and hours.
Oh my gosh! You know what? Every time I drive by Mount Shasta in Mount Shasta, California, I'm just blown away because you're right there at the base of this thing, and it's just covered in snow. Nothing else has snow, but this thing is just covered in it, and it's just right there. You can almost reach out and touch it. You can just almost touch it.
Monty's on a weird tangent.
It's absolutely gorgeous. What is the topic for this show? Mental
Physical
derangement?
health. You should know.
No.
Tom and my favorite topic in the world.
Recovery icebreaker.
Yeah, your guys' favorite topic in the whole wide world. I'm glad we're doing this icebreaker, first of all. Tom, give us a report on what just happened here just a couple days ago in Oakland, California.
Yeah, we just finished, I think it's our 8th ARC retreat in Oakland, California. We combined the San Francisco ARC and the Oakland ARC. San Francisco's all women.
Salvation Army.
Oakland is Salvation Army, right, in their ARCs down in this really central part of Oakland, which is a tough, depressed area. We all were quite affected by the poverty and homelessness encampments that are around Oakland. It's like nothing you've ever seen. Every time I come to some place in California, I keep saying it's like nothing I've ever seen. Then I go to another California city. Sorry, California, but
It's bad.
we have some of the toughest places. But again, transformations like we've never seen. And we were speaking with some people today, and again, the noticeable change in people from Friday to Sunday.
I know.
So we decided, guys, that we're next retreat. We're going to take a picture of the audience Friday night. They're not going to know it. We're just going to snap a picture without telling them, and then snap one on Sunday and put them up. We can't publish them because of faces, but we can use them internally.
But you can show them.
Just to show them the change that comes over, because we see it. I mean, they may see it amongst each other, but we see it, the change. And we took them through the program, and we left them with the recovery assurance and the videos, and we left a very positive group of leaders and all. And again, when we were teaching recovery assurance, when taking the leaders through it on Monday, two of the house managers, or the 2 house managers from the women's ARC in San Francisco, I heard them talking to themselves, gosh, I wish we had had this when we were going through. this would have been great. This was this.
Mm-hmm.
So, this thing that we're doing is moving the needle.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I was going to say, what's amazing about this? Once again, it's a simple message. It's really not that complicated. It's just that it's been overlooked or mistaught or misinterpreted. And what Came to Believe Recovery has done is, starting back with Clarence and all those guys and Steve Foreman, is hit the reset button on this program of action that's worth depth and weight, called the 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and applying and implementing those principles into our daily life, and developing a relationship with this power, because our problem was we were powerless, and now we have a relationship with God, and we can carry this message to others, and it's contagious. And it was that way in the old days, and it's that way again as we watch this happen. I went to go get coffee, which was an interesting jaunt the first couple of times. We went to go to our favorite heathenistic coffee place, Starbucks. I don't know why everybody. Well, I guess because they're everywhere. So we're hunting for Starbucks, and Mowdy was in the car. I don't remember who was in the car, but she said, this was Friday. She goes, "Do you guys feel a heaviness like we haven't felt before? I mean, it just seems so heavy." I go, "Yeah, I'm kind of sensing that." I said, "But you watch. I'll bet you this is going to change." And later on that evening, I said, "Mowdy, do you still feel the heaviness?" She goes, "No, it's lifting." And it does. And that is proof right there. The Spirit of the living God is alive and well and working, even in the midst of what looks to be like a real hopeless area of California, right? Not so. Tons of hope, tons of light streaming out of that place. And amazing stuff. Yeah.
Great set of administrators there, a great staff of people, very dedicated. So the hope, there's certainly great hope. Yeah. So we finished that, and it was fantastic. And then I just finished a meeting up in Camp Del Oro, which happens to be a Salvation Army camp that we use for one of our public retreats, with a couple of ARC sets of officers from ARPs, which are just ARCs within a division. If that's
so tell the listeners what that means, because some people don't understand what we're saying when we say ARC, ARP.
ARC is an Adult Rehabilitation Center.
Yeah.
And those are Adult Rehabilitation Program. And for those that don't know, the Salvation Army is the largest provider of free adult rehabilitation in the country. When you go to an ARC or ARP, it is absolutely 100% free. And when we go in, no beneficiary pays a penny for what we do. It is still 100% free to them. There is no cost to the beneficiary, those hearing of the message.
Yeah.
And we have begun this partnership with them they are super excited because they feel like we're helping them meet their mission of bringing recovery to thousands. And our mission is the same thing, is getting access to the people that need it and being able to spread our message. So it's a partnership made in heaven.
And once again, Alicia, you did a bang-up job.
Yeah.
You and Mowdy just the dancing and the whooping and all that stuff just was incredible. The music was awesome. Yeah. I even came to enjoy my little theme song.
AC/DC. He doesn't like AC/DC.
Well, we have quite a seamless team, and I love now when people will ask me questions. I go, I don't know, because I've got the team doing it. The run of show is done. It's installed. It's working. The registration's done. It's installed. It's doing. The church. Everybody has their piece. All the speakers are ready. The group leaders have the rooms. I mean, we do come in with pretty well-oiled machine now, and we pull this thing off quite professionally, actually. And we generally impress everybody that we're with, and the Recovery Assurance completely impressed them. They're like, this is so well organized and so well put together. So we take no credit. I mean, we did it. We put the work in, but this is all inspired by God. This is just because we've stayed faithful and doing what he's told us to do that we're able to bring this stuff to the public.
Well, listen, I think,
And because we're so healthy, Monty.
That was a good segue. Boom.
listen, this is not an actual health national holiday. Today is National Make Up Your Own Holiday Day.
Oh,
So you can make up your own, whatever you want it to be, as long as it has nothing to do with eating right.
get healthy day. Get healthy day.
And of course, it's time for some useless and mindless information.
Oh no, I know this is what he's been waiting for.
His laugh.
Yeah. Number 1, 60 shirts and 9 pairs of jeans. Where is he going with this? Well, in a flight from China to Africa, a man wore 60 shirts and 9 pairs of jeans because he didn't want to pay for the extra baggage. Okay. He wore it throughout an 11-and-a-half-hour flight. I could barely make an hour flight just sitting there a little. Okay, so there you go. You don't have to pay for extra, I guess. Number 2, you guys were terribly impressed by that. I think you really
I don't
enjoyed it.
understand.
Number 2, did you know that cows...
Oh God, where are we going with this?
Cows hate country music. They
Why?
really do. You'd think that cows would vibe with country music, but it's actually not the case. According to research, cows produce 3% less milk when listening to country music. The study was conducted in a Scottish herd of 45 cows, which were made to listen to classical music and country music. With classical music, their milk produce increased, with one particular cow making 1 liter more milk than usual. However, with country music, 44 cows were observed to yield 3% less milk.
Useless information.
They get depressed with the country songs where
I
they
guess
smashed
so.
their pickup truck, girlfriend left them, right? All the depressing
Which
country
leads me
songs, right?
to a great
Dog died, right?
Dog died. A
Yeah.
great segue of the cow thing was for this. Number 3, Dolly Parton once lost a Dolly Parton look-alike contest. Dolly Parton once entered a celebrity look-alike contest as herself, and she lost. The contest was held in a San Francisco club. In order to somewhat disguise herself, Parton exaggerated her features. Really? With makeup. However, she got the least applause of all of the contestants and ultimately lost the contest.
That's funny.
That is funny. That is funny. And here's the last one. Tom, you're going to be so happy with this. Lobsters communicate. I don't even know if I should say it. I'm gonna. Lobsters communicate by urinating. Lobsters communicate by urinating on each other with the bladders on each side of their heads.
In water. So how do they even know?
Oh no, that's just,
Hey, they know. They listen to this podcast, and now they know.
yeah, all right. Time to move on.
Okay,
Crazy.
no more useless or mindless
Oh,
information.
boy.
All right, we'll be back with the topic. I don't know if this was a good segue into being physically fit or not, but we'll see. Don't go away. Check this out. Hey, this is the Monty Man. Now, I know you're already listening to our Came to Believe Recovery podcast, but did you know there is so much more to Came to Believe Recovery? Now, I'd like to invite you to experience their website right after this show and get to know the incredible work that you can be a part of as well as we work together to break through to the hope that comes through what the founders of Alcoholics Anonymous referred to as the spirit of the universe. So, write this down. Came to Believe Recovery.org. You got it? That's Came to Believe Recovery.org. Now, back to our show.
This is Roger McDermott, and you're listening to the Recovery Talk and Positive Music of Take 12 Recovery Radio.
Oh, all righty. There you go. Thanks, Roger. Had to add that.
Roger was with us too in Oakland.
Roger was. And he was misbehaving the whole weekend, just poking at me and ripping on me and making fun of me. People were going, "Are you guys brothers?" And yes, we are.
They had to be separated on several occasions.
Yeah, we did. Right.
Yes, they are not.
So let's see here. I'm just to give you a lineup. Monday's show with Roger, by the way, and a special guest in the studio. The topic is on the Take 12 Recovery Radio show is going to be higher power, personal or private, will be the topic. And then
I like that. Can we do that instead?
Huh?
Let's
You want
do
to
that.
Personal or private?
personal or private? And then on the next Came to Believe Recovery podcast, this is going to be really interesting next week. The fear of God. Fear of God. What does that mean? Fear is mentioned all over the Bible. Do we fear him? A lot of people have questions about that. They're really not sure what that all means. So we're going to be talking about that because Alicia, she's got answers, doesn't she, Tom? She's got answers.
Well, I'll ask the questions and then you guys will answer them for me.
But let me ask a question of the panel, and this is for today's subject. All right. Let's go one apiece and see what we each did this morning after we got up. Alicia.
Look at Monty's face.
What did you do this morning after you got up?
Are you asking me or Monty?
I'm asking you.
Okay. I got up and I meet my husband in the kitchen and we read the Bible and then we pray and then I make his breakfast and we lifted weights.
Wait, you did
Oh, no,
what?
no. Actually, I take that back. It's Tuesday. I went and taught yoga. That
Wait,
class.
what'd you do again? What'd you do?
I
You
taught yoga.
A healthy exercise class.
Yes.
And what was breakfast? Healthy, like eggs?
Well,
and-
I made his breakfast. Yeah, I don't eat that early, but yeah, he had eggs
Okay.
and meat.
So exercise was a major part of the first part of your day today. Mm-hmm. Healthy. Oh. That's me what I did today.
What
What
did you
did
do
you do?
today, Tom?
I got up at 0500, had a cup of coffee, threw on my gym clothes, talked my way into a gym in Orville, California.
And Monty, what did you
And
do?
Monty, what did you do today when you woke up?
Well, I stumbled because I'm still kind of from the weekend. But yeah, I very first thing I did was I threw off my CPAP mask because I have a CPAP mask. And that's usually the very first thing I do. Very first thing. Oh, more. Okay. Okay. You know what? I usually
Went into the bathroom and then
yeah,
you
I
had
went
coffee.
to the I went to CPAP machine came off, went straight to the bathroom. I take my right away as I'm going into the bathroom. I stop and I take my heart medication and my little what do you call them? Super Beats, the little beet chews thing that help with your blood pressure. And I'm chewing on those while I'm taking my shower. And I had the most wonderful, glorious hot shower because the shower I had over the weekend did not produce hardly any hot water. But I'll tell you, you know what? When your water is cold, it's actually better for you.
Wakes you up.
Yeah. It was. So I had no complaints, or like Roger says, I have no valid complaints. I have complaints all day, but none of them are valid.
Oh, valid. Yeah.
And then I read my little thing I get every morning from one of our lead facilitators at my 12-step home group, and it was the AA thought for the day, one day at a time thingy, right? And then a little scripture verse thing. So I get that every morning, and the thing of it is, I did not make coffee this morning.
What happened?
I went out to the garage and I opened up the garage door so I could take a look at the Goose. That's the name of our new van, the
car.
Goose. And I said, this needs a bath. so I took it to the hand, so I can do it myself because I don't like the machines. And I gave it a bath and polished it all up and came
That's
home.
exercise.
You're darn right it is. Ow, ow. Hey, those power washer things, if you don't hold on to them, they'll just blow you all over the place. But that's what I did. So I had my little devotion thing, and then I fed the fish, and I found a dead one who had rotted the whole time I was gone.
Well, so not, this may to some people, sound like we're picking on people today. So please don't take it like we're picking or we're being.
Or you can take it that way,
or you
depending
can,
on
right?
how you
But
want to
what
take it.
our subject today is, are you physically healthy, right? Physically, and it's not just going to the gym, right? It's about your metabolic. It's about your general health. Are you healthy? Are you sick all the time? Do you feel good? Are your aches? Do you pain? Do you have a level of fitness that would allow you to climb out of the water onto a boat if you got thrown into the water and things? And these are like life-saving things. Could you lift your own body weight up? And these are things that I think and I think Alicia too would consider baseline of life fitness level. Like everyone should be able to pull their body weight up once. And I'd say 99 out of 100 cannot do it, right? So what is physically healthy, right? Alicia, I mean, what we may go beyond and be high performing in our level, but it's not that far off of being really physically healthy. I mean, I never get sick. I'm not hurt. And this is all part of eating right and exercising. And I think artificial movement and exercise is something that is so important in so many aspects of our lives, sleep and eat and all sorts of things.
I'm glad you said that, because it's not just nutrition and exercise. It's sleep and stress levels.
Right.
But those are the 4 biggies.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I think I was telling someone, no matter what I'm stressed about, even if I feel terrible, it always abates 10 minutes into the workout in the morning. It just relieves. I just don't feel so bad about it anymore. Whatever it was, I shake it off. But it's become a habit for me now, and it's not just a habit. It's what I do. I don't care how busy I am. I'm busy doing that every day. I mean, that's in pen on my schedule. I'm out here in California. I don't have a home gym. I got up at 5 this morning. We had to leave. I found a gym, and I went. And because it's important, because it makes me feel great, and I don't feel like a slug as we sit around. We're not meant as human beings to sit around and use it or lose. I'm sorry, I'm on a tear, but I'm going to go.
No, I want to chime in here about that particular thing when you're done.
Right. Use it or lose it. Okay. So the human body is meant to move. It wants to move, and you got to move it, or it will lose it. The human body adapts very quickly. It goes into survival modes very quickly, and it will drop off what it doesn't need, right? Because muscle is taxing on the body to maintain the flesh and delivering blood to it and supplying it with food. As soon as you're not using it, it wants to get rid of it. And getting rid of muscle starts to strain every other part of your body. Now, when you lose muscle mass and cardiovascular fitness, and your capillaries shrink, not only can they not deliver blood as deeply into the tissues of the body, but they can't remove the garbage out.
right.
Which is
The more
part of
muscle
the clean out
mass
system.
you
More
have,
muscle- right.
yeah, the healthier you are, the more carbs
Right.
you can eat, even though I eat 0. But if you have more muscle mass, you can eat a little bit more carbs if you want to.
So there's no downside. There's not really an argument that you could make. I mean, diets, this, that, and the other thing, you could argue maybe, but you can't argue that exercise, movement, and resistance training and some sort of heart training is essential for physical health. You can't.
So
All right,
let me chime in. Yeah. So what you were saying about movement, I've noticed this, and I'm sure of it. I'm sure it has a lot to do with the large amount of weight that I've dropped. I don't remember sleeping until 11 or 12 noon, really. But I'm sure it was a whole lot, ever in my life, although I'm sure it was much easier to do when I did do it when I was heavier. Because now I'll get up much of the time, most of the time, I am turning off my alarm before it goes off. And I just get up. And sometimes Marcia's up getting ready for work. Sometimes she's not. I get up and I am busy from the time I'm up throughout my day. I remember there was a time when I'd watch a program for an hour, or maybe I would just lay there. I don't do that anymore. I'm constantly doing something. You know what I mean? And it makes you feel better. It feels like you've accomplished something. We've all heard people say, "Can't believe I wasted half the day already." Well, then don't. I mean, there's so much. I don't know about everybody else out there, but there is so much to do around here. And I don't live on a farm, but there's so much to do. There's so much to see. There's so many places to be. They're all good things that I really don't have time to just sit around for 4 or 5 hours and binge watch Netflix. If that makes any sense.
But they're also, on the counter side, there's a huge opportunity to not do anything in our lives today. Social sedentarism. I never wrote the paper on it, but when I was personal training, I used to talk about it. How little movement can you actually do in a day and still get through your day? The laundry does it for you. You don't have to do anything. You put it in the dryer. You drive your car to the grocery store. The grocery store the shelves are packed with the most garbage food you could ever have. And in 2 minutes, you can walk through the grocery store and put the food in.
Or have it delivered to you.
You don't have to chop wood. There's no heat. I mean, I think we do a study to see how few steps you can actually take in a day and still be completely successful and have your life go on. Go to work and sit in front of a computer. You go to work. If we don't add artificial movement in 2025 to our lives, very few people live jobs that create that much movement and exercise to create health. Or at least you could chime in if you don't agree with me, but they very few.
What's that mean?
Artificial movement means go to the gym.
Go to the gym.
You got to run, you got to exercise, ride it. So it's not just chopping. If you were chopping wood, hanging laundry out, scrubbing the things, you wouldn't. That's
you wouldn't
like
need to go to the gym.
Organic movement to keep your life going. But you don't need it. You're not out on the farm. You're not milking the cows. You're not. So we got to create movement, and we have to go run treadmills or elliptical machines or something, and you have to lift weights in a gym. That type of lift to create resistance training in order to create change. Are you tracking with me, Alicia?
I am, but then I just want to say too, for people that say, I don't want to go to the gym, I hate people, well, you can do dips and push-ups and squats in your room.
Yeah, you know what? I think
you can walk, and you can do anything at home.
I'm not okay. So I'm gonna repeat something. I heard this on the way home from Oakland. I was listening to a podcast. It was hosted by Dr. Laura Schlesinger.
Oh, boy, she's still around?
Oh, yeah, she's like 70.
I used to listen to her when I was like 30.
I love her. I mean, she doesn't mess around. And she said something, and I've never thought about that. She said, okay. She said, I want to talk about motivation. She goes, motivation is a lie.
It's not necessary.
And I'm
you
like,
don't need motivation.
what? So I'm really perked to my ears, because we've all said, man, I wish I could get motivated again. I can't wait to go to the Tony Robbins seminar so I'll get re-motivated, right? She goes, motivation is a lie. She goes, I'll tell you why. Motivation is based on feelings. It's based on feelings. When you succeed, it's because, and then your name popped into my head, Alicia. When you succeed, it's because you practice discipline, not motivation.
You don't need to be motivated.
If you're waiting for something to motivate you, then you're waiting for a magic pill or that special speaker or that preacher that you like who's on vacation. Well, he just doesn't motivate me. I got to wait till my senior pastor gets back. Or you know what I mean, right? So we're waiting for motivation. But when we do what we know is the right thing to do, even when we don't feel like it, right? Mm-hmm. That's when we succeed. Mm-hmm. And we've all heard people say, it's kind of cliche, but when you don't feel like going to a meeting, that's when you need to go. Well, that's
It
true.
is, though.
It's true. It's true. So I'm dropping this motivation thing. Schlesinger really got me fired up, and I'm like, no, that is a cop out. I don't get along with people. I don't. Well, stop it.
Yeah.
It's the gym's too far. Look, if you lived in L.A., you'd be driving for an hour to the gym. You know how far the gym is from here? We've got 16 gyms in this little town of 30,000 people.
And you can work out at home.
And
You don't have to go to the gym.
I got a yard that needs tending, and you get a lot of physical exercise done working on the yard. I mean, I'm just not buying it when people say, well, I don't go to meetings because it doesn't work. And I mean, all this garbage that requires movement that you get off of your blessed assurance even when you don't want to. Phooey with the motivation.
And I say go to the gym. I mean, I get the home thing if you can't do anything else. But going to the gym motivates you, gets you in, and you're in this atmosphere of moving and exercise, and everyone else is doing it, and you can ask questions, and you can do things, and there's opportunities. And there's less chance of saying, I'm going to quit, or the phone ringing, or something, or somebody in your family coming and grab you or something. So I do go to the gym. I don't, I'll find a gym rather than do push-ups and tri-dips. I go find a gym. And do them there.
Let me ask you guys
but that's me.
Your opinion about there's a product out there. There's like 3 or 4 of them. They all pretty much do the same thing that I've seen on TV, and I laugh at it. But I'm wondering if it isn't beneficial. It's a thing you put your feet on, and your feet go wee like this, and you don't even have to get out of your chair. This thing and if you want the deluxe model, you plug it in and it moves for you. And I'm thinking, okay, yay! Now, what do you say, Alicia? You know what I'm talking about? These little feet machines.
No, but I can imagine what it is, and I would say
better than
I want to
nothing?
say no, don't get it, but do the exercise that you will do. If it's Zumba, which I flippin' hate,
What is it?
whatever, do it. If it's Zumba dancing, do it. If it's lifting weights,
Why don't you like Zumba?
no,
I don't like it.
Do a Zumba dance for us, Alicia. How
I
do you
don't do Zumba, so I don't know what it is.
Why don't you
won't
like
see
it?
any muscular fit people in there. I'm just saying.
I know, but why don't you like it?
Lift heavy things, but do the exercise you'll do. If you don't want to go to the gym and your excuse is it's too expensive, it's too far, then do something at home on
Isn't
YouTube.
weight training more beneficial than cardio?
They're both beneficial for different things. If you want to lose body fat, you have to change your food. And if you want to change your body composition, you have to lift heavy things.
Yeah.
You have to. Cardio is good for your heart and good for your brain, for depression, but you're not going to lose weight by running on the treadmill. You have to change your food.
Now let's shift a little from just exercise, lifting weights and running, to other things that make you healthy, which are your food and things that you eat, and everything from the suntan lotions you take in. Do you spray yourself with this stuff, and do you use dryer sheets in the dryers, and the bathing in chemicals that most Americans have on a daily basis, in toxic, harmful chemicals, in many different versions of stuff that we eat and drink and just use in our hands and see and are exposed to every day. They can make us really unhealthy. They've aligned many things, diseases and cancers and other things, lung diseases and issues and all, to these kinds of things. The phthalates that are in plastic, this plastics now, they say you shouldn't put a plastic in the microwave. As soon as you do, it's like leaching into your food.
Yeah.
And
antibacterial and all those things are eating the good bacteria. Don't touch that stuff ever.
Right,
People pass
antibacterial.
it
We
around,
shouldn't
and
use
I'm like,
them.
get it away from me.
Right.
Don't touch me with that.
Now there's this new stuff called these PFAS in water. And then these phosphates, these things that are bleaching into our water from toxic waste sites that were never cleaned up from 50 years ago, 80 years ago, before they did it, when nobody knew better, and they were just bleaching stuff, and they've gone into the groundwater, and they're showing up in our water systems around now. Nobody even knew about them. You know,
And
it's these things.
estrogens, right? There's
Yeah.
so much estrogen in our water.
Right.
But then
And
people can hear that and say, it's too overwhelming. I can't do it. I have to
Right.
eat
What about
right
the-
and
yeah.
exercise, and I can't have candles, and I can't wash my clothes, and I
well,
can't drink
uh,
my water.
Alicia,
Where
you
does
say
it end?
Alicia, you'll say it. You're bombarded with the easiest, cheapest thing is the worst thing for you. The world, the television, and the commercials tell you it's the greatest thing. It brainwashes you.
It does.
Eat this, eat that. This is what you eat. Everybody eats them. And you say, why? It's on TV. Why can't I eat Fruit Loops? They're lying to
It's
you.
garbage.
They're not healthy for you. They're not healthy. It's so bad for you. You know,
It's
to
not
do-
even
do-
food. I mean, I
It's
look
not
at
even food.
people
Well,
drinking soda and eating cereal and pasta,
And you guys should watch
I'm-
Alicia looking at people doing it.
oh
It's
my
really-
God, it's not even food.
So I want to tell you something. So during the weekend, we had one night at the Oakland ARC. We had this pork
Pork tenderloin.
pork tenderloins. I mean, these things are like
They
5-story
looked
tall.
really
And,
good.
you know, there's like just all lean, right? And everybody was eating. I mean, and I was going to say this to you, Alicia, and ask you this question. So I'll ask you now. I forgot to. So I'm looking at nothing against asparagus. I'm not an asparagus guy. But I saw the mashed potatoes, which looks wonderful because they're all homemade. But I also know mashed potatoes are not. That's not an option for me. So I gave somebody mine. I don't know if you heard what I said. But isn't this like quitting pot and giving your buddy your bong? I mean, you're passing on the bad stuff, right?
It is. That's I tell sponsees they're gonna give their stuff away to their neighbors. I'm like, no, you're gonna kill
No.
them. Just
No,
throw it
no,
away.
throw it away. But
Throw
anyway,
it in
I
the
sat
trash.
there and I ate these two pork tenderloins, and I was so full, and they were so
'Cause
good.
there's no carbs.
And I was thinking to myself, I wonder when we mix all these different foods, even ones that may be good for us, but we mixing all these different flavors, I think we're missing on, like if I had eaten some potatoes and some asparagus and some salad and say, am I actually not able to appreciate the flavors that were in that pork because I'm being bombarded with all these other foods?
Might be, but you should always eat, protein and fats first, and
Right.
then you would probably get full, and then you don't need the carbs.
Well, I'll tell you what, I ate those two things and I was stuffed. Just
Yeah.
those pork things.
Carbs
but
makes
they were
you
so good.
hungrier
And then
and-
at the restaurant on Thursday night, and I could not believe this. I was reading the menu and it said 5-ounce New York cut, right? And my MO would be 12 ounce at least, right? I saw 5 ounce and I went, oh wow, that's
It's
more
like
than
one
enough.
bite.
But it was more than enough. I was 5 ounce, and then the garlic shrimp. So I knew the shrimp was cooked in butter, and it was, you know what I mean? It wasn't all breaded and everything. And it came, and there was only 3 shrimps and 5 ounces of New York, and it was. In fact, my steak wasn't real hot, which I think now may have been intentional. That is the best steak I have ever had. I mean, it was amazing. That steak and that shrimp, and that's all I needed. My gut hurt, you guys. I was full. I think we told ourselves a lie that we have to have the bigger, the better, the longer, the you know what I mean.
Carbs.
Otherwise,
No
we're not
need
satisfied.
carbs. Yeah.
Yep. So, what about you? One of the talking points here on Are You Physically Healthy? You put distractions are not solutions. What do you mean by that?
Distractions are not solutions. What was I talking about there? Probably thinking if you do have issue with food and you're emotionally eating, then and you think it's fine because it helps you, it's a distraction. It's not a solution.
Oh.
It's not going to lead to being healthy. And it also could be, because this could be on the other side of the spectrum, right? With me being over exerciser, I could be
Yeah.
exercising like I was 30 plus hours a week. That's not healthy either. That was a distraction from my life.
Right. So
Well, I
you
mean,
can be
that-
going,
yeah.
well, man, if I don't get to the gym, I'm not going to be able to raise my dopamine levels and actually have a better day. That would not be good. That's strong motivation, right?
Yeah.
There we go with motivation again.
Yeah, it's not, and I mean, it is discipline, but it's commitment. That's what I like to say. You make a commitment to do something and then you go. Like today, I did want to go to the gym because I do, but I wasn't, I don't know that I was motivated. I was committed and I knew that I'd feel better and I knew that it's good for me. So I got up and I do have a habit of it and so I get up and I went, but, there's other things people do. I mean, I still do my morning devotion. I read my thing. I have my cup of coffee, but I plan time in for all that. And then I went. But it's a commitment. Once you make a commitment, and these are great things, even in 12-step recovery, right? It's 10th, 11th step stuff. We've decided to live a new life. We're living that right side of our inventory sheet. And it's funny today, we were talking about right side living with those officers who hadn't been through our program, and they kind of looked at us askance. We had to say, oh, wait. Sounds political until you go through the program. Not talking politics. But I have a commitment. And Alicia sees on NHS, I go even when others don't go. I'm at our retreats. I'm the only one that goes, actually. No one else. Even Alicia doesn't go, but she takes them as breaks, I think, when she's on retreats. She takes a break. And I just travel way more than Alicia does. So I don't want the breaks because it starts to affect my sleep and how I feel and how my brain works to cut those things out. And it's a frustration to me to be traveling with the lack of being able to control food. I never feel better than when I'm home, disciplined, eating just exactly what I want in my own little castle, hitting my gym and my routine. Within 4 days, 5 days, I'm just as bright up in the morning, as engaged as I can be. It's more than it's not even about what you look like, right, Alicia? It's really not.
You feel good and not bloated, and my head is clear, and I'm and I just
That's
feel
important,
strong.
I think, to tell people that, and I want to talk about these different thresholds of what people think are healthy. How many people have you seen, right? Alicia and I are a little, or a lot.
Extreme, maybe.
Extreme, and a little judgmental, and that we shouldn't be. And I don't know if but people say, I'm really healthy. We know some people that we could bring to mind right now that think that they're actually healthy and doing some really healthy things. 90%
of the people around me say that.
And say they're healthy. Really? You look at them and go, well, you're not. You're have fatty liver, belly. You have all sorts of
joint pain. They can't sleep.
They bought in, and you watch their food, and they're just eating what the store says is healthy for them. It's a level of, I don't mean ignorance in a really bad way. I mean ignorance and a lack of information.
It totally
They're eating
is.
inflammatory foods that are actually causing the problem.
And they don't
causing
know.
The problems.
People
and
don't
they just
know.
don't know. And they don't
Even
know.
Doctors tell them to eat whole grains
I
and
know.
fruits and
Oh,
vegetables
my
and
gosh.
all the inflammatory garbage. It's so stupid.
Right. And here's the thing, guys. If you're willing, you've got to get started. That whole idea that, you only have to start once. I started people training and working out and exercising for years, 20 years. I'd have people come in and the same old thing. What is it, Alicia? I don't have time. I'm not athletic. It's always the same objections to
But
exercise.
that's all excuses. We can
They're all
make the
excuses.
time.
Oh, I said, well, everybody's busy with the stuff they're busy with.
Yeah, rearrange your schedule.
If you wait until you have an hour a day to exercise, you're never going to do it. You have to change your schedule and just be busy doing this. And then turn down the donut club in the morning that you're going to now and say, no, I'm going to the gym today. And create new habits. And within 2 or 3 weeks, and boy, with exercise, Alicia, I know you'll back me. Once you start seeing a little results and start feeling good, it pulls you right into it. There's no downside.
Do you guys think that I want to be careful here. I don't want to go down a political rabbit hole. But let's just look at what's going on right now. It's not an opinion. It is what's going on. We have a man with a little bit of power that's been given him to maybe change the direction of our world's lack of nutrition and help us get back to some things that are a little more healthy eating and exercise and things like that. Do you think it's too late for our country, or do you think that good old Bobby is going to help us maybe hit the reset button when it comes to nutrition? Alicia, you first.
I don't
Okay,
think
Tom,
it's.
you go ahead. You go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Tom.
Well, they banned a percentage of foods that we have in this country in Europe. There's a bunch of stuff that they just say are so bad for you. They ban it. You can't have it. Should we ban certain types of food and processing food in the way they do it? I would be all on board for that. I think they should make
I
some
get
much more
scared
extreme
though
effort toward it.
because if they ban food that they think is bad, they're going to ban red meat, eggs, and butter, which is
Because they
actually the
think that's bad.
healthiest food you can eat on the planet.
Because depending
So-
on who's in charge, they're going to think
Right.
that's bad.
So banning food is not a good idea. But educating them, because the world is ignorant on what is healthy and what is not, and show them that the saturated fat lie and the rid meat lie it's a myth.
But at least I think they could all agree that ultra processed food is not good.
Right.
That we can
Start
get rid of.
there.
High sugar foods not good.
Right.
I mean, soda.
Anything with a label and 50,000 ingredients, don't eat it.
I think sugar sodas should be banned.
Oh my gosh. There's like
There
15
shouldn't be
teaspoons of
any
sugar.
soda. It shouldn't be allowed.
Didn't we try that? The big gulp thing or something in New York at one time?
Oh,
They
never.
did, I think.
Yeah.
They tried to ban it. I mean, they should just say these high levels of sugar they are linked to so much disease that is so detrimental
Every
to health.
disease is linked to sugar.
Right. That for us to promote the idea, I mean, the washing of sugar, the amount of sugar, guys, you'd never eat that much sugar.
No.
If I handed you a jar of the sugar that's in one soda,
You'd
be disgusted by it. But people drink it like it's nothing, and that's just one thing that they do in a
But
day.
people know it's in soda. They don't know that sugar, every carb turns to sugar. So pasta
Well, yeah.
is sugar.
Yeah.
Pizza is sugar. Rice is sugar. Bread, sugar. And they eat it breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, snack all day long. And then they wonder why
Yeah.
they're diabetic and overweight and have heart disease.
That's why when you see it in certain countries that primarily eat carbs, like our south of the border folks, you
Everywhere.
see an increase in heart disease. People don't live as long, and all of a sudden, some of your Oriental countries where they're not doing that, they're living longer. They don't have gut problems, and so we often say, well, if you know better, you'll do better, but we don't.
That's
Even
not
when
true.
We do know better.
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of
not
times.
true. People
right?
know that processed food is bad, and
So
they
let me
eat
ask you
it
this, guys.
constantly.
Let's add a biblical perspective on this a little bit. I heard a guy one time, and he was pretty condescending, and I thought he might be right, but his approach was horrible. But his point, I understood it. He was really ragging on people in church leadership who were morbidly obese. In other words,
Even just obese.
well, I know, but what's I don't know about medical profession, but I know they say 10 pounds over your ideal weight is technically obese. Well, okay. But I'm talking about the guy who's having a hard time making up, not because he has bad knees, not because maybe he was in a wreck, but because of his eating habits, can't make it up 2 stairs to get to the platform. He should not be in church leadership because he is abusing the temple of the Holy Spirit. And I'm listening to this guy and I'm thinking, wow, that's, I hope you never sin, dude. But you know what?
Right, yeah.
You know what? He made a really valid point.
That is a good point.
What kind of example? We wouldn't let some guy up there, guzzle booze, right, on the stage. But we're up there, we're giving out pop during the youth retreat. I mean, which takes us to alcohol, Christians and alcohol. Okay, forget about the whole under the influence bit and all that kind of stuff. What about the fact that alcohol is also pure sugar and alcohol is toxic? You say, well, some people are an alcoholic. No, but everybody should not be drinking a toxin like alcohol. There's not a person
Right.
on the planet that needs
There's
to be
nothing
drinking
good in alcohol.
that. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing good.
Right.
That's good
What do
for
you think about that? If the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, you understand that and you comprehend that, and yet you purposely abuse it by the way you ignore your physical health? Should you not step down from leadership and get well?
Well, I don't know if they need to step down, but they need to have someone speak into them, and they
It's
can.
addiction, right,
It's
Alicia?
addiction and it's ignorance. People
Yeah.
think that they need to eat less and move more, which then they're starving and they're going to the carbs because they're hungry. Or they eat whole grains and veggies because they think it's healthy and it's raising their insulin and it's giving them more body fat.
And
And
what about
people
somebody?
don't know.
What about someone that smokes cigarettes, Monty, in church leadership?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
What
could
about
happen
that
too.
smoking cigarettes?
I think, see, I'm one of these guys that says, okay, what I want to know is, are you working on changing that? Are you, I mean, if you're
Yeah,
struggling in
yeah.
that area, if or whatever, I get it. But if you're working towards a solution, that makes all the difference in the world.
Right.
If
I
you're
would
not-
admire somebody standing up there and confessing
Yeah.
and showing that they're actually doing something about it. That could be inspiring.
I can sit at that guy's feet. I can do that all
Right.
day long. But the guy who says, yes, I know it's wrong. Yes, I know it's detrimental to my health, but I'm going to do it anyway. And by the way, everybody, you need to love one another because that's what Jesus did. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Right.
I'm not hearing you. You just lost me.
Yeah. Yeah, but we could pick on every single pastor for something. They're all fat, and one can be mean to his
They're not
wife.
all fat.
Yes, they are. And another one is doing this, and another one's prideful, and another one. I mean, we're all sinners, right? So we
But
all
the
have
difference is, are we
something.
working? Are we practicing spiritual progress? Right?
Are they
we,
admitting it and working on it?
and are we working on
Or
it?
asking
If we are,
Jesus to help them do it, actually. Because I think you're right, Tom. I think it's addiction, and it's all over our retreats. People stop drinking, and now they're addicted to sugar, but they don't know it yet.
well, they've been addicted to, especially alcoholics. They've been addicted
Yeah,
to sugar
they've been
the whole
addicted.
time.
Now they're eating, and they think it's fine.
They're eating
It's
their
not
booze.
alcohol. It's not
Yeah.
drugs.
Right.
But now they're going to have strokes and heart attacks and obesity and diabetes.
Well, so if you are managing a residential treatment program, faith-based or otherwise, and you've got a bunch of alcoholics in there, and you tell them this is an abstinent-based program, there's no drinking allowed, but then you're feeding them Snicker bars at night before they go to bed, and then they go out and they relapse on booze, isn't that kind of your fault?
Well, but they're getting the food that they get, you know? That's
Well,
that's
you're
where the
culpable,
hard
I
line
think.
is.
I mean, I will
Because
say
they're-
this.
The
Yeah, I was
donations and
I was a little upset to see coolers full of sugar sodas at the
And Fruit
at
Loops
these
and
ARCs
Ice
and ARCs.
cream.
I
And,
mean,
yeah.
you know, there are such thing as sugarless. They could just fill them with waters. Just don't offer it. But there is that theory that sugar, that with the candies on the table, that you got to give addicts sugar to keep them. You know, that was an old
Right.
philosophy years back. That
Right.
Maybe
give
for a
them
week.
sugary stuff.
And
Yeah,
then
maybe for a week, right?
that's enough.
Yeah,
It's a bridge.
and
Now
wean
move
them off
on
the
to
sugar,
something
right?
else.
Yeah.
It's sugar switching, addiction switching. Mm-hmm. It's completely that. But
ouch.
they have to realize it.
All
Well, you
of
don't
you
know what
have
you
to
know.
watch this episode. Don't listen to it, because Alicia's facial expressions are priceless. Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you something. I was, over a year ago, I got so convicted about the shape of my knees and everything else. I thought, you know what? There's only one way that I'm going to avoid knee replacement, and that's drop this weight. And so I'm praying the Serenity Prayer, and I'm thinking, oh, there's a part in here that I can do. I can do this. Not by myself, but with God's power, I can do this. And so it wasn't, I was waiting for years to be motivated to do it. And finally, I just said, you know what? I'm going to do it. That's all there's to it.
You
That's
just
it.
have to make a decision and do it.
And I haven't done it perfectly, but I am telling you, it is a lifestyle change. It's totally, there's just things. Listen, folks, if it's not in your house, you can't eat it in your house, usually. You know what I mean? There are things that just are not in my pantry anymore. And I don't miss them. You just don't miss them. Thought I would. Nah.
You know, now when somebody, and Alicia, you said this, I said, Alicia, help me. They're trying to tempt me with that. You go, well, it doesn't mean you got to put it in your mouth. I thought, support me here. Beat them up, not me. But we're surrounded around this stuff all day long. And whether it's lack of exercise, lack of sleep, we do a whole show on sleep, how important that is, or whatever. We've got to make the right decisions. And when we don't, we own it. We suit up, we own up, we show up, and then we move on and still make the right decisions next time and just keep doing it, right? We just keep doing it. Don't wait to be motivated to do it. Excuse you. Mm-hmm. We're out of time. Closing thoughts, Alicia.
Start somewhere, make a baby step. If you're overwhelmed with, I can't drink this, I can't eat this, I can't do this, processed food is bad. So start there. Period.
So when you say processed food, it's
anything in a bag or a box that has an ingredient label is processed food. Get rid of it.
Well, doesn't all food have to have, by law, have ingredient labels?
Well, eat meat, veggies, fruit, nuts. That's it.
But particularly if it's like 2 inches wide and you can't pronounce any of the words.
Exactly. If it has more than 3 or 4 ingredients, I would say skip it.
How about those things that have a shelf life of 14 years or something, right?
Exactly. Processed food. I don't need
Shelf life, it's good for 14 years, right? It's. Right. I would just agree with Alicia and start moving. Do some movement. Go walking. Get moving. But just remember, walking's a start. You got to do more. You got to raise that heart rate a little bit, and you've got to lift some heavyweight, and heavyweight women especially too. Women all think it was the big thing I had to overcome with women was women use light weights, men use heavyweights because women don't want to get big. It's a big myth. It's not even as much pervasive anymore because it's been so debunked. Heavyweights, lift the heaviest thing you can lift or nothing happens. If it won't change, put some muscle mass on, increase your metabolism. It helps everything. You lose more weight for every single thing that you do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna cop to something here. I have been neglectful with my hand weights that I got. Remember, I increased them and I kept increasing them. And the last several weeks, I haven't touched them because I've gotten busy, right? And so this morning when I woke up, I'm noticing, man, my shoulders are killing me. I was like, Marcia, why are my shoulders so sore? And she said, well, think about what you've been doing for hours at a time.
Driving.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just relaxing driving, because when I got into the San Francisco Bay Area, I'm biting my lip, I'm grinding my teeth, I'm grinding my dentures, and I'm just, with all the traffic, I am just hyper sensitive to everything going on. The stress level was really, really high. So I'm putting pressure on my arms, right? Arms that haven't had any strength training for a while. So it's like, of course I'm sore, and I realize that. So when you fall behind, get back on the horse, because the longer you wait, the harder it is to get back on the horse, right? So tomorrow morning, I got to start back up and do my thing again. I had worked up a little ways. Now I got to work back up. Wah, wah, wah. Poor me. Like Tom says, I kind of like hanging out in the poor me's once in a while. All right, guys. All right. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to the show. Please visit the website, cametobelieverecovery.org. You can find all sorts of goodies there. Retreats, dates, and locations. You can find merch. There's some great merch on there. I just purchased my Hydra flask with came to believe, not decaled, it's painted on. Dishwasher safe. Do not put it in the microwave. I've got 2 of my cups now. I've got a new shirt, by the way. It's a 2X. It's not a 3X. And I put it on the other day, and I went, still need a little more work, but not as much as I did 2 months ago. So there
we'll
you
aim
go.
for a 1X next time.
A 1X. I don't know that I'm built for a 1X, shoulder-wise, but we'll see.
I think so.
I get Alicia. All right. If you know an Alicia in your life, Be thankful. Right, Tom?
Yes. I didn't know where you were going with that, but
Right. All right. Closing song is Jesus My Healer. Here is, surprisingly enough, Ed Sheeran with Jesus My Healer.
When the shadows fall and the pain won't leave, when my heart is broken and I can hardly breathe, in the silence I hear a voice so near, a whisper of love, a hand to calm my fear. It is Jesus, my healer, the mender of my soul. It is Jesus, my healer, who makes the broken whole. In his hands there's power, in his name there's peace. It is Jesus, my healer, in him I am relieved. Through the storms of life, when the tears run dry, when the weight is heavy and I don't know why, I lift my eyes to where my help comes from. He's the strength I need, my morning sun. It is Jesus, my healer, the mender of my soul. It is Jesus, my healer, who makes the broken whole. In his hands there's power, in his name there's peace. It is Jesus, my healer, in him I am released. No sickness too great, no wound too deep. His love restores, his mercy keeps. Chains are broken, the captive is free. Jesus is healing, he's healing me. It is Jesus, my healer, the mender of my soul. It is Jesus, my healer, who makes the broken whole. In his hands there's power, in his name there's peace. It is Jesus, my healer, in him I am released. Yes, it is Jesus, my healer, forever faithful and true. It is Jesus, my healer, I surrender all to you.
Until our next broadcast, this is the Monty Man, along with the rest of the Came to Believe Recovery family, wishing God's perfect serenity for you.
Came to Believe Recovery strives to create and promote opportunities for life-changing spiritual experiences for individuals and families suffering from all forms of addiction. For more information, help, and support, visit cametobelieverecovery.org. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to be your host on this episode of the Came to Believe Recovery podcast. And I would encourage you to like, bookmark, and subscribe to this show. When you do, you will join the Take 12 Recovery Radio family and will be notified of all of our recovery-focused shows throughout the week. Until our next broadcast, when we provide the essential spiritual tools needed to thrive by sharing our experience, our strength, and our hope through our stories of how we came to believe.
This has been a production of Take 12 Recovery Radio.
Kitty, kitty, kitty. Meow.
Woof, woof.
This has been a Chicken and a Pig production.